What is going on, guys? So today is another episode of the Bearded Panda Kit, and I decided, just because of a few comments of people reaching out to me, and a brother even too kind of suggested it, is like, let me finish the design of this first initial flare. And so today I'm going to go ahead and shape the rear so it follows the body line, and then the front where I made the line that I drew out to cut so it's a cleaner curvature. And I'm actually going to start around the gas cap. And so after today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and take a poll and see like how people feel about it. And if they like this design, this kit, that's cool, because I can get that one out faster to you all. And if not, that's cool too. Like, I'll go ahead and start the new design that me and Gabe came up with. And so I guess let's just see how that goes. Gabe should be here anytime soon to help me out. We're gonna have, of course, every Sunday for us is a car work day for sure, guaranteed. Today's a really badass day. It's nice out, nice and cool, nice and sunny. So it seems like I'll be able to get to a decent point today. And so on the front, I'm still waiting on the new fenders to come in, so that way I can just hack those up and not even worry about it, and go ahead and start creating molds off the front. And so hopefully that'll be sometime next week. But for now, let's get this thing cut up. Okay, so right now it's on the car where I feel like I want it to be. I've put this bright blue tape here to show where that body line is. One, so you all can see it in the camera. And two, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bust out this wax paper here, and I'm gonna lay it over this blue line, and I'm gonna trace out the actual line. Then what I'm gonna do is either on a piece of cardboard, or like on a piece of paper or something, draw it out, cut that out, lay it on this part of the body, so that way this curvature matches this curvature, and this line matches this line. So it will come out looking just like it's meant to be there. So we need this to follow this line, which it almost does, but not quite. It's just a hair. And then here, you know, maybe just round it up a little like this design here. And everything else just needs to get smoothened out and straightened, and we should be good. I'm going to do the same concept around the door cap, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. Okay, so now that this is where I know I want it to be, like it matches up here with the side skirt right on the side. In the back, it's at the good height. Of course, when it's pressed down, it's where it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is trace it out on the tape, so when it's time to mock it back up, since I'll already have started cutting and creating here, it's going to go back exactly where I want it to be, or where I chose for it to be. And so that way I'm not missing or losing my place. So just drawing the line on the tape. And I'm more concerned about the height of it, not necessarily this front, because that front, as long as I got the height, it'll still flow there. So there we go. Voila. Oh. So now I'm just going to cut that off and transfer it over to a piece of cardboard or paper, something. Okay, so it's going from this to this to this, or this, whoa, to this. So like I pretty much lined that up. This curvature isn't too bad, so make that curvature there, and then just kind of get this in place and draw a line. Of course, go and double check to make sure that line looks good with the body line, and if so, just cut it up. Let's see. Over there. Yeah, so this, you think that looks all right?
Yeah, that looks good.
You don't think it should go here to this tip? Like it looks better like that?
Yeah, it looks perfect, man.
Now what about on this side where,
Look perfect.
with that body line? Right? Looks good?
Looks good. Real good.
Alright, then I'm going to go ahead and make the cuts then. So there you have it. The old man said, looks good, make the cuts. So I'm going to send a picture to Gabe just to let him know where I'm at. But, you know, the old man's usually never wrong. He's pretty good with these kind of things. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and do the cut. I had put up the tape and all that stuff, and then I realized, okay, let me measure. I called the broski. He always gives me good pointers. And he's like, you know what? Bust out the measuring tape and measure from your body line to fender flare. And so I did, and I did it a couple of times, and yeah, it made a difference. I even had to like go and lift up the rear a little more, so it was like even Steven all the way on the top. So let me show you. On the top section with my ruler, it actually goes all the way across and follows the same distance. And of course, once I get here, so the only thing I'd have to do is like from here to here, just clean up this straight line, which is an easy part. And then I come across here, and I pretty much go all the way down, and just, I don't know if you can see, here we go. So I initially had this line, but then after doing all the measuring, if I just actually follow this brown colored in section, it will give me the straight body line. Now of course, like we always say, measure 1,000 times, cut once. So I've already done measuring over and over and over again to where I'm pretty measured out, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the cut. But of course, you're better off cutting a little shy of the brown, so that way with my power sander I can go in and just clean it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that cut. All right, so we already made the cut, measured along, everything looks good. I know this one line kind of tosses off the way it looks, so I'll probably spray it soon. Cleaned up the top edge and cut off this front end, so it has a better curvature. The only thing is right now I'm going to take the time to heat this up so I can kind of push it down and it'll flow up against the body a little better. But besides that, next is the gas cap. He said, this guy's sad because his little roof vent spoiler popped.
It was fixable, but it's still not.
Yeah, so we just ordered another one. So then I have the gas cap door. So I got some wax paper, put it in, put the flare up to it so I could draw this line. Now what I'm going to do is cut out this portion, and so I know where to draw it onto the cap. And now we're trying to mold more plastic.
Oh yeah.
Get it to just fit the body lines a little better. I always. Alright, old timer. Yeah, so like he already went and did this one. So like here it was a pretty good gap. He heated it up, pushed it in, and now it fits real nice and flush up against the body. So ABS plastic, you just have to learn to heat and push and mold, and it gets a really good shape. It's like a... Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Just fix a tab and it should go in. Cool. All right. Okay, so microphone busted out, so here's a voiceover. So what I did was I cut the paper and I like lined it up perfectly where the body line should be on that markering that I did. And so this outer line is where the gas tank is, and this inner line is pretty much where I'm going to cut, so that way I could take the time to fold this little tab and bend it over to fill up the gap between the body panel and the actual fender flare. Now this was just an idea. I do possible little cuts, heat and bend, and sand away at the angle, but I'm not sure if that's the way it's going to go. Let's try it out. You want to come on this side? All right. gonna cut anything under it? No, I'm good. Oh, that looks so chunky. Looks like those little snake poops.
Oh, the little firework deal.
Yeah. Alright. Boom!
Did it hurt?
Huh?
Did it hurt?
To cut it?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually excited because I want to see it on.
Oh, with the actual hole.
Yeah. Oh, but imagine it was all wrong and shit. What I was afraid it was like doing this. Oh shit. Alright, so here we are. It's already daytime. And I've managed to cut out the fuel door. And as you can see, this is where the actual line to the fuel door is. And so what I did was I left a little extra, so that way I can do some little cuts, heat and bend. So I use this as my template for the gapping between the flare and the actual face of the door. So let me just give it a shot, see how it looks. Let me test fit it here. Okay, so there it is on. So this is where I'm talking about. We're on the gas cap. And so you see how the line pretty much matches up right with it. Comes around. And then you have like the gap there. So I'm hoping when we bend this plastic that it'll pretty much fill in that gap. I think this might be a little too long, but we'll see. Little by little. So I figure I'm gonna make a cut here, maybe here, and then like along the way, a couple of cuts. I would do a big section at a time, but I just kind of feel like it won't be as controlled. So I guess I'll start with this corner here first. Give it a shot. So this is where I'm sitting at right now on this rear flare. I already started working on the front. I wanted to show where the progress is at, so that way everyone could kind of know and I could put out a YouTube video. On the rear, I've already kind of cut out around the gas cap. I do need to come a little lower, if you can see here. And so that way it fits. Now what I've already planned on doing is getting some sculpting foam in here, cutting it down, and fiberglassing around just to make the design. Also here I've decided to bring this down maybe about like 2-3 inches, maybe 4 inches, just so it gets a nice flush to maybe like so. And that way it kind of like sits a little further down, looks a little cooler, kind of goes with this body line, which sits about to right there. So that way it still flows pretty cool. Maybe even shoot it up kind of like the same angle here. Now on the front, I've decided to bring this forward about 2 to 3 inches. So at this point, it's going to come from here and just kind of come a little more forward to about there. Like so. So that way the front counteracts the back and it just has more flow with the body. But besides that, I think I just need those 2 little things, or those 3 things, and this rear driver's side panel should be ready to go. And then of course I'll have to make the rivet holes, but that's an easy fix. Okay, so this is how it looks from afar. And keep following the build. I still have more episodes coming out. Like I said, this is my version 1. I've already put version 2 into progress, buying the materials to get it started. I'm taking a different approach, a design like the design I showed you in the previous episode for the Bearded Panda kit. And so, you know, keep an eye out for that video. That should start coming out closer to summer though, but I'm trying to get some 3D rendering so that way I can kind of give everyone a heads up. But this is pretty much how it looks. And if you can see from the rear, like why I'd want to bring it down just a hair to maybe about there. And it just kind of flows with it a little better. I also want to build or make, you know, something different here for like the rear diffuser. So that way I know there's only I guess the one that the company comes out with, and it kind of sucks because it's really expensive. I want to make it more cost affordable, or I want to include it with the kit. So that should definitely be coming out with the version 1 as well. Just so that way everything flows really good, and of course you get your money's worth. So definitely keep following. Next episode I work on the front flare. I finally cut into the fender. Like I said, I just wanted to put this out so that way you could see what's happening, and of course follow along with the build. Thanks guys for watching. Hit thumbs up. Try to help me get 1,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. Gabe of course appreciates it as well. And thanks guys for all of the feedback, and just keep following. We also, just to let you know, we have these window peekers available. I know people are waiting for kits to come out to like support, but any little bit of support helps us out. I really dig it. I'm pretty excited about it. And of course we'll get some more merchandise out soon too. All right, thanks guys for watching. Y'all take it easy. Thanks.